What's up, folks? D'Angelo, Steve, and Matt here with another edition of HUNTwallet How To. Today, we're going to be walking through hunts, which is a feature that we're all super excited about. We had quite a bit of time utilizing this feature this year, planning hunts for the 2021 season. Lots of awesome benefits, lots of cool features to go to help make the hunt planning process a little bit or a lot smoother and help organize things a bit more. How we're going to walk through this today is we're going to give you a high-level overview of the hunts feature overall and how it fits within the HUNTwallet ecosystem, and then we will take a deeper dive into all of the individual features that Hunts has to offer. Before we jump in, I think, talking about the benefits of this, for me personally, I'm someone who has kind of a cluttered mind, and this has allowed me to go into the field with a peace of mind that I've done the things that I needed to do to help me be successful in the field. It's not a magic bullet to help you be successful, but it's one less thing to potentially get in the way from you being successful. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
for me, it helps with the planning of, it provides you with that countdown. How many days out are you until the hunt's about to start? I'm 150 days out from Colorado archery elk hunt. How's my fitness? Where am I at? What is my goal? Where do I need to be? What kind of gear do I still need to get for that hunt? Do I need more arrows? Do I need to be doing something different in my setup? Do I need to be changing something? And then just getting that countdown as it's approaching and kind of tracking where I'm at physically, where I'm at as far as my gear as that hunt is getting closer and closer.
Yeah, I'm with you there. For me, sometimes I feel like, months or large quantities of days presents like an esoteric number where it's kind of hard to conceptualize. Like, you're 5 months out or you're 180 days out. Like that seems like kind of a large number. It doesn't really register. But then as it gets closer and being able to see that, like, okay, I'm 90 days, I'm 60 days, I'm 30 days, I'm 10 days, 7 days, I'm the night before, that makes things a lot more real to me, and also helps me conceptualize in my own mind, what do I need to get done? Because there are things that I know that are like, especially as it relates to, say, like my training, my fitness, like you can't get fit overnight, right? So like, you got to start that earlier, but say dialing in my broadheads, I know that that's something that I'm going to do right as the hunt's approaching or it's getting closer. So this helps me, especially visually, kind of organize in my head, like you were saying, how I'm going to approach that hunt. I want to prepare for it.
For sure. Prior to this, I think I just wrote everything down and tried to keep it in the spreadsheet. Sometimes some things were in the spreadsheet and some things were written on paper. And when you do that, you got stuff in two different places. Well, this brings everything all in one place. The other thing with spreadsheets are, it's cool to, create a spreadsheet on the computer of things that you need to do. But trying to look at that on your phone or even edit that on your phone was a pain in the ass, at least in my experience.
I don't even attempt it on my phone. And like I'm in spreadsheets all day for work and for my other, my other life, if you will. And I know, no, thank you.
No, I 100% agree. All right, so we are going to. All right, so a little bit about why we created hunts there. I hope that painted that picture for you guys. The other thing, so what we're going to do is we're going to walk through just a high-level overview of everything, and then we'll dive into the deeper dive into the features. So what you're looking at now is the hunts feature on the home screen. What you're going to see on this screen is you have the ability to toggle back and forth between your active and your archived hunts. Your active hunts are going to be basically your hunts that are either live, which means you're actively hunting right now, or they are upcoming. And then with your archived hunts, it's basically going to be your hunts that you have input into the HUNTwallet ecosystem, and you've completed those hunts. The end date of that hunt has passed, and it's going to be basically saved in your archive.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting too that the archive hunts could be hunts that you have entered and completed since you downloaded the app, like you've actually gone through that.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be hunts from seasons or years prior, that before you had the HUNTwallet app or before the HUNTwallet app existed, frankly. So for someone like myself, like I've put in all my hunts from all the seasons prior, because I like to be able to look back and see the hunts that I've had, but I also like to look back and look at the data from those hunts. So it's something that you can, go back and predate, I guess, for lack of a better way to say that.
Mm-hmm. That's for you guys that are really anal with planning. Matt is one of those. So, but that's an awesome call out that it doesn't have to be hunts that you've completed when you had the HUNTwallet application. It could be hunts, prior to that. All right. So jumping back over to active hunts. The other view or items to note on the screen are going to be the hunt tiles. Your hunt tiles are basically a snapshot or a high level view of what you're hunting. So, if you're hunting pheasant, you're hunting whitetail, you're hunting elk, it's going to give you a high level overview of what you're hunting, when you're planning on being out in the field. So you're going to have your dates of what you've entered as dates and when you plan on being out in the field. It's going to let you know if it's the type of hunt. So whether you're on a solo hunt or you're out making memories with your buddies. And then it's also going to, going back to the, creating anticipation, it's also going to give you, or creating anticipation and driving action. It's also going to give you that awesome countdown to let you know how many days it is to hunt. Some things about the hunt tiles. So they're going to be in chronological order, with the live to soonest up top, and then it's going to go down in descending order. And yeah, so that's basically the view from the hunts on the home screen. Next thing we'll walk through is basically creating a hunt, which is super simple, super seamless, at least in our view. So you're going to go ahead and to create a hunt, just like anything else in the HUNTwallet ecosystem, to create anything new, you're going to go ahead and tap the plus icon. Upon tapping that plus icon, you'll be presented with a new screen. Here you'll have the ability to enter a hunt name. You'll have the ability to input hunt dates, so when you plan on being out in the field, and then you have the ability to designate whether this hunt is a solo hunt or a group hunt.
Yeah, for myself, I like to use the hunt name as a way to, like, I have a structure, if that makes sense. Okay. So, like, my hunts are typically like state, method of take, species, and then any other information if it's relevant. So, like, this year I had Colorado archery elk. Another one would have been, say, like Colorado rifle elk second season, right? Multiple seasons. Archery only has one. So, like, for myself, I like to use the hunt name as a way to, like, categorize it, and if I keep it structured the same way, it helps me as I'm looking through.
I think one of the biggest things on this screen for me is the hunt dates. A lot of the times, when you're entering, if you have 8 or 10 hunts in a year and they're in different states, and I'm not sure quite yet what hunting dates I'm going to be able to go on, that's something where I could just not enter it on this tab or this view of the hunt, and be able to kind of look at my other hunts, kind of gauge where do I think I could fit this in? Is it something that I'll even be able to pull off, and then come back into it at a later time and fill out those hunt dates once I get it dialed in more?
Both of those are really good call outs. I actually follow Matt's method of inputting the hunt name. So I follow that. So the state, the method to take, the species, and then if it's a particular season, I'll add that in there. Steve, this year I had a ton of tags, and we always think as hunters that we can go out and hunt everything, but unfortunately, we can't. We have other responsibilities. There's wives, there's kids, there's girlfriends, there's pets, jobs, which allow us to do this. You name it. But huge call out there where definitely saved me on trying to see where I can fit an additional hunt in.
Yeah, to Steve's point, the hunt field isn't required, so you don't have to enter it when you're creating this hunt. So if you just want like a placeholder, then you come in later. But also you can always update that date. So say you enter it in, like I think I'm going to be able to hunt this date to this date, and then you see them all in that list, and all of a sudden it makes sense. Like I won't be able to do that. You come in and change that, or something changes obviously in your schedule, and you come in and change it. So yeah, I think that's a really good call out there as well.
Big time. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and input a hunt name. So true to form, like we mentioned before, we are going to plan for 2022. So Colorado archery elk. And just because it's 2022, I'll just put 22 in there. Hunt dates. I'm going to go ahead and scroll through the calendar. And for now, I'll just put a placeholder on there. I believe the season typically starts on that first, the first in Colorado.
Yeah, it's usually the first or the second. I think this year was the second.
Yep. So we'll do the first for this illustration purposes, and then we'll hunt that first weekend till probably about Monday. It's typically what we've done in the past. It's going to be update that from a solo to a group hunt. You'll get a pop-up that when you're first starting out and creating a hunt, you'll get a pop-up to let you know that you're a creator if you're the person that's creating that hunt. So you're going to go ahead and tap create. You should get a pop-up that lets you know that the hunt has been created successfully. And then now the fun begins. So it's going to take you to the hunt details page, which shows you a high-level overview of the hunt. It's going to show you what you've named that hunt. It's going to show you the dates you intend on hunting. It's going to show you what type of hunt it is, whether it's a group or a solo hunt. You're going to have the ability to add group members. You're also going to, up top, see a pencil icon. Here, you have the ability to edit the hunt details. So you can update the name. You may have put a typo in the name. You may change. You may not be hunting archery elk anymore. It could be archery deer during these dates. So you can update that. You can also update the dates. I know a lot of times we intend on getting out into the field at the prescribed dates, but plans do change. So you can update those there. And then if this were, you have the ability to go from a solo hunt to a group hunt. Unfortunately, you cannot go from a group to a solo hunt.
Yeah, and there's a good reason for that, which is when you go from a solo to a group, then you have the ability to add group members, and obviously you're intending to add group members. But if you were to go from a group to a solo, if that were allowed, you'd basically be kicking out those members from that hunt. And the way we saw it was we'd rather the users and you folks just delete that hunt and restart a new one than to kick people out of the hunt, because it may be unbeknownst to them that that hunt is being ended for them.
For sure. Good call out there. So yeah, if you did apply any updates, or if you did type any updates or do any updates, you can just go ahead and tap the update. Us, we did not. You can tap cancel or hit the back arrow. We'll hit the back arrow. We're going to go ahead and add a group member, start creating some memories. I'll add Steve to the group. So he's added to the group, and Steve should have received a push notification letting him know that he's been added to which hunt?
Added to Colorado Archery Elk 2022.
Perfect.
22.
Perfect.
Got the notification on my watch, then also a notification came through on my iPhone.
Sweet. And for those of you guys that know Steve, you know how tech savvy he is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. So in a nutshell, this is one more. Forgot about the three-dot menu next to the pencil icon. So you go ahead and tap that, and you see that you have the ability to either delete the hunt or exit the hunt. So how these two differ: deleting the hunt is deleting everything that you've created out of the for this hunt out of the HUNTwallet ecosystem, and then exiting the hunt is me basically leaving a group hunt that we've planned.
If you exit it, it still leaves that hunt intact, and why I guess that's important is when it's a group hunt.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't delete that out for the rest of the group members. Unfortunately, you may have a situation where you can't participate in that hunt any longer. But there's no sense in, particularly as gear gets added, as tasks get added, there's no sense in wiping out all that information.
Yes, for sure. We definitely kept that in mind. We didn't want to, for the group to lose out on one person lose out on all that work that they've done and that they've completed because someone's leaving the hunt. And then at the bottom, you'll see that next to my name, there's what's called the creator. So think of the creator as basically the admin of the hunt. The creator has the ability to remove a hunter or remove a group member. He or she is the only person that can remove that group member. And the creator is the only person that can delete an actual hunt. Anyone can add a group member to a hunt, something that's worth calling out. If the creator does leave the hunt, then the longest tenured person in that group becomes the new creator.
Yeah, and you can remove yourself.
Yes, correct.
Whether you're a creator or not, you can remove yourself from that hunt. So like if you're the creator, I don't have to ask you to remove me or release me from that hunt. I can just leave.
Go and tap that three dot menu up at the top and just hit exit.
Kind of cool feature is that when that happens, all the other members will get a notification. Like D'Angelo's left, Colorado Archery Elk or whatever, tell you the name of the hunt and let them know that they've left. There was a circumstance where you were a creator and you left the hunt, and my notification not only said that you left the hunt, but it also let me know that I'm now the creator. So it was just like a nice call out just to know that I have some, level of responsibility as it relates to that hunt. As I'm now the admin, if you will, like you said.
For sure. And then last but not least, there is one more push notification that you'll get is when the hunt has been deleted as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, going just a step further, there's going to be a notification when that hunt is approaching as well. So you're going to get, or everybody in the group's going to get a notification.
2 weeks out. And
2 weeks out.
And then 6 days out.
Okay, so as it's approaching, it's just again, like Steve was talking about, you've got 10 hunts, 11 hunts. If you're fortunate enough to be one of those folks who has a lot of hunts, or just a busy schedule, getting that notification never hurts. For
sure. All right, so that's the hunt details tile. We're going to go ahead and tap the back arrow. It's going to take us back to the home hunt screen. We're going to jump back into that Colorado Archery Elk. It's going to be the last one. You see it's going to be 274 days away, which is, it seems like a lot, but those days tick down fast. So we'll go ahead and tap that hunt tile to jump in there. Once you tap that hunt tile, you're going to be presented with multiple tiles. You're going to see hunt details, which is basically what we just walked through. You're going to see gear lists, and you're going to see task lists. We're going to jump into gear lists, but before we jump into there, gear list is something that's super, in my view, and I think in all of our views, super powerful. It adds a ton of convenience. It adds a ton of peace of mind to my hunt process this year. I don't know if you guys have anything additional to share.
I think especially in this group atmosphere of these hunts, to be able to see the gear list of all of the group members and what's being brought, so you're not bringing multiples of big items. Like, you're not packing 5 camp stoves into the truck and taking up space, or not showing up to wherever you're meeting, someone's house, or a parking lot off I-70, and you're going to load everything into one truck, and you have all of this extra gear that is just unnecessary. You can't fit it, or you're just going to be storing it in your truck or at their house until you return from that hunt.
Yeah, I would echo that as well. I mean, that truck fills up so quickly.
Very much so.
And it just chaps your ass when you're paying Tetris and with things you don't even need.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely gotten me more efficient with the stuff that I take. Mm-hmm. Steve, great point.
I think that's the biggest thing, efficient. Mm-hmm. That's a great explanation for it.
All right, so to go ahead and create a gear list, you're going to go ahead and tap the gear list tile. Once you tap that, you'll be shown a screen, which on the screen you will see a search field. So you have the ability to search by the item, by the brand, or the model. You will also have you'll also see the lovely HUNTwallet Plus icon down near the bottom of the screen, which allows you to add an item to the actual gear list. So let's go ahead and tap that plus icon. So when you tap that plus icon, you're going to be presented with a pop-up. You have the ability to create a new item. So an item that you may have just created a new item may be an item that you just bought from the store. Things that come to mind for me is like last minute reads. I go through so many reads during the archery season. Mm-hmm. So going to the store and buying some last minute reads or something like that. But for these purposes, we think, where the gear list and the HUNTwallet ecosystem really shines is being able to easily create a gear list from items that you have in your gear locker. And real quick, gear locker is basically, think of all of the items that you have in your basement, in your storage, in your garage that are related to hunting, but they've all been input onto your phones. It's like your virtual storage for your hunting items. So we're going to go ahead and add item from a gear locker. So you're going to be taken to your actual gear locker that you have in your HUNTwallet. You can see here that I have about south of 100 items. We're going to go ahead and start tapping some items. You can either tap some items or you can search for items up at the top. I like to do a bit of both. So let's go ahead and search for my boots. So go ahead and search for boots. You tap that. And then I'm really just going to run down the list for this hunt. So I got my bow, got my binos. I'm going to bring my spotting scope, need my arrows, need my release, need my quiver. Some of us don't like to bring those.
Some of them like to bring them home.
Got my tripod, camp spoon, bow case, RX bars, nuts, camp chair, and the list goes on. Super, super easy to go through this and decide what you need to bring for your hunts. And once you have a majority of the things, if not all the things that you want for your actual hunt, you go ahead and tap Add to Gear List, the Add to Gear List button at the bottom, and you'll be presented with another pop-up which lets you know that you've successfully added an item to the gear list. You go ahead and close out of that, and it'll take you back to the Colorado Archery Elk 22 gear list. You'll see those lovely HUNTwallet tiles, which are, if you've been following along with these how-to videos or using an app, you'll see that they are consistent throughout the application. On the tile, it's going to, at the top, it's going to show you the item. And then it's going to show you below that the actual brand of that item and then the model of that item.
Since this is a group hunt and you're going to have a whole bunch of gear list items, what's the way that you can just sort this so that you're not seeing everybody else's stuff? Is that a possibility in here?
Yes, you can. So you can tap the filter icon off to the right of the search field, and then tap assign to me, and it'll show you all of the items that have been that you're responsible for. So really good call out there. And how you know that an item's been how you know you're responsible for an item is indicated off to the right of that tile by your profile picture. If you have not set a profile picture, it'll be indicated by your initials. All right, so that's gear lists, creating a gear list in a nutshell. Again, something super powerful. Before we hop out of that, I think run through how the search feature works, just to make sure there's always that time where you want to make sure that you got something on your list, or you're about to go and you want to make sure that you don't forget something. For this one here, we can make sure that we got our quiver, because that's super important. So I type quiver, and it shows that the quiver is in my gear list. I just want to show you guys the view of if you go ahead and add an item by just creating an item. So pretty straightforward, presented with a new screen. You enter the item. You don't have to enter the brand or model. The only one's required is the item. And then you have the ability to enter the age of that item. And then we've even taken it a step further to make it a bit more efficient for you, is if this is something that's going to last past the hunt, you can go ahead and add that item to your gear locker. Mm-hmm. So pretty straightforward there. Multiple ways to add an item to a gear locker, but again, really shines, or add an item to a gear list. It really shines though once you've built that gear locker out and you start to create those gear lists from your gear locker. All right, we are going to jump out of gear lists and jump into task lists. But before we jump into that, for me, just task lists, again, going back to having that cluttered mind, it definitely helped me from a planning perspective to get the things done and make sure that I get those things done prior to hunting, whether those are honeydew things. So like I would even put, I needed to mow the lawn, I needed to rake the leaves, I needed to fix something for my wife before I left on those on these lists. I see Bill has a smirk on his face.
I'm like, just keep in mind, this is a group list. So don't put everything you got to do on there unless you guys are very close.
Great call out. There's a feature for that.
I think that's also one of the really cool things with the task list is in these group hunts, you're able to see a task that, D'Angelo set for a hunt or Matt set for a hunt, and maybe it's something that you've never thought about. And so it's a way for then you can ask them why what made you think about doing that, or that's a great idea. I'm going to start that's something I need to implement into my task in preparation for a hunt.
Mm-hmm. Well, a good one is like waterproofing boots, like something that's it's something we all should do, but it's not necessarily high on the priority list. I think we were going on our rifle hunt, and I can't remember if you or I had it on there, but it sparked the other person to say, "Oh shit, yeah, we're gonna get a ton of snow. We should probably waterproof our boots."
Well, that applies to
Gear
gear
list.
list as well. Like I may see something that Steve packed that I didn't even think of, or just escaped me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I need that for myself as well. So it does help having the other folks in the gear list or the task list in this respect.
Definitely.
And I think it could help prompt, like if it's a new member into that group hunt and they haven't hunted in that area before and they're seeing, everybody adding this item and it's not even something they have in their gear list, to be able to ask, like, hey guys, like, why do I need that? That would have been nice for you to say something beforehand, but I caught it, and now it's something I'm able to add to my gear list in the future and have it in my gear locker.
Yeah, way better to discover that 60 days out than when you show up at camp.
You're the only one without it.
Yeah,
Definitely. And not just new members, new hunters too. I mean, there's we all know there's a steep learning curve for new hunters, and for them to get an insight like this into what it is to actually to plan for a hunt, I think is invaluable. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into task lists. We'll go ahead and tap the tile. Upon tapping the tile, you'll be presented with a new screen. You'll see up top you have the ability to toggle by all the tasks within this specific hunt. My tasks, or the tasks that you're responsible for, and then the tasks that are due today. You'll also have the ability to search, for tasks, or you have the ability to search for individuals. So I can search for Steve and it'll pull up all of Steve's tasks. And then you have the ability to filter by completed or showing completed or high and completed. Where that really shines is this list can grow exponentially. If you can imagine, 4 or 5 people inputting, 10 tasks, that's, 40 to 50 tasks that could be input on this task list. So to kind of declutter things and for you to see what you're just responsible for, we've implemented that.
How about notifications?
So that's a great question. So I will walk everyone through how to create a task, and just like basically everything, all of the other adding an item in HUNTwallet, you go ahead and tap the HUNTwallet plus icon, and go ahead and enter a task. So waterproof boots. So we just talked about that. You select the date, which is we'll go ahead and select, gotta waterproof those. Oh no, oops. Gotta waterproof those. We're gonna waterproof those guys. Let's get them waterproofed a week before the season. We're gonna assign that to Steve. We're going to go ahead and hit done. Let's assign it to Steve. Done. Save. There we go. So
I just got the notification on my phone.
So Steve is going to get 2 notifications. One, not immediately. The first notification immediately he'll get is letting him know that I've assigned him a notification. And then the second notification he'll get is the day before this is actually due, letting him know that he needs to waterproof his boots. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another task for myself, which is to waterproof boots, which we both should. And August 25th. Add that to myself. Go ahead and hit save. And you'll see that upon creating both of those tasks, the toggles or icons up at the top have now updated. So you see that there's now 2 tasks within the list. You'll also see that if I tap the My Task toggle, it'll just show My Task. And then obviously, if there was something due today, upon tapping the Due Today, that would show up as well. And if you search on all tasks, if I search Steve, it'll bring up all of the things that Steve is responsible for. So some super, super powerful stuff. Again, definitely goes to declutter that planning process, put everything in one place, just to make sure that, we're going out into the field in a good state of mind and feeling good that we've gotten the important things done that will help us be successful on our hunts. All right, so hopping out of task list, you're back to the 3 tiles, which show you your 3 tiles: your gear list tiles, your task list tiles, and your gear list tiles, your task list tiles, and your hunt details tiles. We've got some exciting things on the roadmap to add to this that we think will further benefit us as hunters as it relates to planning for hunts. So more to come there. So in a nutshell, but yes, that's basically the gist of hunts. I'll go ahead and get out of the actual hunts themselves. And we are back at the home hunt screen. So again, a lot of fun and exciting things that we can't wait for you guys to try out and provide some feedback to. But yeah, anything else from you guys?
No, I think just to recap, you add your hunt, you
Yep.
got your hunt details, you create your gear list. You can do it from your gear locker, or you can create it from scratch, or a combination of both, probably more realistically. And you can create and assign tasks. And that kind of wraps up your hunt.
Yep. I appreciate that, Matt. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. Like us on Instagram, or like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, provide any feedback at, hello@, we'll drop all of our contact details down below. And yeah, thanks guys for joining us.